Folks, we're at the top 20 and our top 100. This is going to be fun. So far, only 3 crossover, yet the crossovers are about to get mad crazy, I believe, as we hit our top 20. Here I go. I'm going to start off with a brand new game in my collection. I was so daggum impressed with this game. It comes in a very small box, has great pieces, and is a really smart game. Red Cathedral. Red Cathedral, let me show you the beauty of this game. It doesn't look like much on the outside, but look what it's packing. You're building the cathedral here. You've got your own, well, that's a prototype. That is not what it's packing. There we go. Got nice little pieces to it. As you are moving dice, you roll those dice once. Now, there are ways to re-roll the die, but you can only move them to their pit value. And the different sections, you have little tokens on that you will always shift around to. That means the board will always be different every time you play. Also, there are cards placed on all 4 corners of the board. And on all 4 corners of the board, you will shuffle different decks of cards and make those extra special abilities you can do in the game. Again, game's always going to be different. Has some beautiful pieces that go with it. Some crystal, of course, some wood. And you're trying to simply gather resources and build cathedral pieces from the bottom to the top. Now, meaning someone can buy one of the bottom pieces and start working on it while someone else is buying the one above that one. You definitely want to finish your piece before that person above you does, because if they finish theirs before you finish yours, you'll get a penalty applied. This is just beautiful. I saw this game. Like I said, it is a small little box game. This game is not a table hog. It's very small. It fits in my box. It fits on my shelf, and it's got so many great pieces with it. And the game is so quick and so tight and so awesome. As you're taking different tiles from the cathedral, you're actually getting to take some certain actions, some certain bonuses too. A lot can happen in this game as you're getting prestige points, which can, if you get them early, which is kind of hard to do, but if you can get them early, you're really going to be racking up points. Though later on, and there's those, if you can see it here on the corner, you'll see regular squares. Then every once in a while, you'll see like a golden eagle, or whatnot from the 1, 2, 3. Those are prestige. If I scored 2 prestige points and I was at number, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I was at 5 victory points, I scored 2 prestige, I would go all the way up to 13 because they're worth 4 victory points each at the beginning. Toward the end of the game, they cost the same as regular points, but that's because everyone can get prestige. This game is great. It's great for all the reasons. Made by gamers who said, look, I want a game with a lot of good pieces, a lot of hefty strategy in there, but I don't want it to be a table hog. You got it. This is your game right here. Red Cathedral. I love it. There's a promo out for it that I'll never find, but that's okay.
Not
Still
with that
a great
attitude.
game. All right. Yeah, you'll never find it. They're not going to reprint it. All right. So what's your number 20?
Number 20. It's a game Matt Wilkin should own. It is based off of one of his favorite movie series. In fact, it's called Terror Below. Based
off of Tremors.
There you go. I needed you to say it for me because, he should own this game. Basically, it's the only pick up and deliver game I've ever liked.
Really?
I am now up to 16 different ones I've played. Still not a fan. They are normally boring. Take a train, bring it here. This is shit. Yeah. Take it here. It's so boring. This one, you are collecting these eggs that are showing up, and you are trying to bring it back to collect certain victory points, collect weapons to try to fight off the sandworms that come out, and you can also get points for doing that. It is such a smart game, so many interesting mechanisms, because every card that you play to move your vehicle has to go under one of those 3 sandworms. If the number of cards maxes out for that specific sandworm, it appears in that exact location that it has on its card. So you get to kind of predict and dictate when he comes out to kind of set your opponents up for failure. I've yet to still yet to play the advanced side of the board because there's the one with the crack that you see there in that picture right there.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't played that yet. It's one that's on my list to play. This game's so much fun. There's so many interesting elements, such as having the right weapons to fight off the sandworm. So if your opponent does think they're screwing you over, you could just get you a whole lot of points. So a lot of times you just want to amplify your weapon, your weaponry, and go out to kill the sandworms. While doing so, you're trying to collect rubble, which you can turn back in for value, and also those eggs, of course, will also get you your value depending on what the tasks are at the top and where you got to bring everything. But it is an excellent game. I was beyond surprised. I looked at it and I was like, this game looks so amazing. And then I watched every review online and no one's selling me the game. Everything about all of the reviews that I'd seen prior were just really dry. So I
Yeah,
had to
those
sit down.
reviews do not do the game any favors. There's some really, that's what's turning me off. I'll gladly play this game,
Oh yeah.
but I will not buy this game until I play it.
They say they like it too in the review, so it's not like they're dissing the game. They're just not selling me on it. So I sat down and played it at a convention. Best thing I ever did. I love this game.
Yeah, and to be fair, I've seen games like this that they look it looks kind of nice, but the person who's kind of trying to pitch the game to you is doing such a piss poor job. You're like, this does not make it look good, even though they're trying.
Yeah, but that's what BGG Spring comes for.
I guess so. I'll play Terra Below. I'll play Terra Below with you. All right. Hey, all you failed fanatics. It's time to put one of the Stefan Feld games on here. Been a while. Been in my collection for 4 years now. It's never, ever exited my top 20. It was number 18, then 14. Last year it was 20. It moves up one spot to 19. It's always going to be a top 20 game. It is getting a reprint this year, thank goodness, even though the artwork is horrendous. It is Bruges.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I really feel bad for everyone who backed the reprint on Queen Games Kickstarter, and then they said, oh, that's the artwork? Because it doesn't look nice. The original is what I'm showing you here, and the original looks great. Unfortunately, it costs an arm and a leg for this one and the expansion, which I do have. But, say what?
Didn't you back one of these?
Yeah, I backed the other one, the reprint for Macau, Amsterdam.
With the pretty artwork?
No, it's got crappy artwork. That's beautiful artwork. But they got crappy, really cheap artwork for it. Now, this game is amazing because you play one of these cards for different reasons. At the top, you can get, if it's that, let's say that brown card, you can get 2 brown meeples and just discard it. Or you can get money equal to whatever number is on the die, the brown die right now, which could be 6, which is why you want to play it. Or you can get rid of one of your bad tokens. There are all these tokens that will pop up in the game. And if you get 3 of them, something really, really awful happens to you. So if maybe this person has 2 brown tokens already, 1 more, and they're going to have problems. So they go ahead and discard one of them. That blue piece is a river piece. You can plant a river on top of a brown square, or you can flip it over and make it a house. It doesn't matter what color the house is, but you can make it a house for people to live in. Or you can play the card itself and have that person live in the house. 1 person per house. So many options on just playing one card. And and then of course you can't see it in this picture. Oh yeah, here's fire. Fire bad. You not want fire. There's all the wooden bits. Ford makes a comment on it.
Wow, that board does look nice from a
distance. Yeah, it's a small little board. It looks very pretty. Everyone was complaining about the artwork in the new one, and I agree with it. It sucks. But this game is very smooth. And on top of it, as you see here, sometimes you can play those little wooden meeples on your card. These are like bonus actions you can get. And you really want to get, it is a deck builder, engine builder thing that you're trying to establish cards, get meeples to power up those cards, do special abilities to combo with other cards in your hand. Every game is different because there's 1,000 cards in this game. The expansion City on the Sven is a fun one. Just adds a 5th player and then adds some ships, adds some extra elements to the game on what you can do, which I like. And then there's a mini expansion with pets that I bought. You just add the pet to the house. They can do special things too. but it not really necessary for the game. But Bruges as a whole, one of Stefan Feld's best games ever created. Number 19. All right, what's your number 19, sir?
Yeah, and I wonder why they didn't just reprint it, that art. But that's neither here nor there.
Well, why they didn't give the nice artwork in, I don't know.
We have number 19.
Yep.
Haunted School Escape.
No way is this game this high for you. Really?
I think it was higher last on my
what? I didn't know you like this game so much.
Yeah, it's Edumenkin. If you're looking, it'll say Edumenkin.
No, I know. You just recently reviewed this, right?
No, last year.
Oh, it was last year. It was already last year?
Yeah.
For some reason. Did someone else review it this year?
Nope.
Okay, never mind then. It felt like just this year you reviewed it.
All
right, go ahead. I love that yours only has like 2 pictures. There's one picture and there's the second. That's all it's got. So tell us about this kooky game that you absolutely love. It's really has a giant head coming at you.
So Edumenkin is a urban legend in Japan where it is a dog with a human face. Creepy. However, this game is only in Japanese, so you import it from Japan, and I actually in my review I provided templates so you can print out English stickers to like put over the board like I did. The game is awesome. It has a lot of really cool mechanisms. So your goal at the beginning of the game, you take all of those little plastic tile pieces and you place them at the top of the castle. You lift the castle to the top, and what happens is when you turn the clock, it actually shoots the top piece up and those pieces fly on the board. And now you have to move your characters around to collect the items that are in your color. If you're the first person to do that, bring it back to the exit of the school, then you win. However, there's a lot of things that get in your way. One, there's certain spots on the board that can screw you and kind of lock you into place. For example, if there is going to be like a haunted girl in the bathroom, which if she's standing upwards, you can't leave the bathroom. If she's laying down, you can go into it. Vice versa with the science room and the science doll dummy. I forget the name of it. But the cool thing is if you land in one of the spots that flip them and your opponent's in the bathroom and she stands up, they're kind of trapped there, which is hilarious. But the other interesting mechanism in the game is going to be the dog, because you push his button whenever you land on one, or if you're spinning the spinner, because that tells what you move, and it shows the Edumenkin's face on it, then you push the button and that'll determine where he moves. It's random, so it can move a little bit, a medium distance, and a long distance. And if he runs into you, that's bad. The game is a blast. Honestly, it's such a wacky idea of a horror game, but it hits every box from unique mechanism to easy to teach, fun for the whole family. Obviously, horror being considered in this, but also it is fast paced and surprisingly more strategic than I thought it would be because of the direction you choose to move on the board itself. I was very impressed by it, and there's a reason why I provided those translations for it. I had a lot of Japanese games that'll be translated soon, but that is probably the best one still thus far.
Wow, I had no idea this was going to be in your list. Yeah. Did not know.
All
right. Hey, folks, my number 18 debuted on my list last year at number 14. It was the game of the year for me last year, and I even predicted it would be a top 10 game. I loved it so much. It turns out I just didn't play it as much, I guess, this year. It moves down 4 spots. It slides a little bit, but still in my top 20. Yato. I told this man about Yato. I got that nice deluxe set, and I have not looked back. This is still your group of your family of assassins. It's worker placement in a way, as you're gathering weapons, gathering items. You're trying to lay out plans on the board. That board looks extremely busy if you're just looking at it, but that's just the cool artwork. There's basically just worker placement. There's 7 different places you can place your workers at to take different actions. It is a tight worker placement area too. There are not many spaces there. You can get in the deluxe edition, you can get special workers. Yeah, that's what it looks like right there. You get special workers, and of course, wood bits is what I love. Those metal coins are clinkety clinkety. All those are special workers you see there. Those aren't the regular meeples, and they all do awesome different things. And they won't all come out in every game either. They're random when they come out. Depends on the what's going on in the game. But oh my goodness, look at that! When you bring out this awesome sauce on your game board, be prepared. I mean, it's very thematic because you feel like you are an assassin, a clan of ninjas or whatnot, and you're taking different missions. They go from really easy, which is green, all the way up from yellow, red, and then black, which is borderline impossible. The one thing I take issue with, I know why they removed it, but I have a problem with it. There's a card in the old set that said kill the Shogun. It's in this one too. If you kill the Shogun, it says you win the game. Now it says you get a ton of points. It should be win the game. I guess people got pissed because if they're doing really good and moving up the track, all this one guy has to do is complete this mission. He's won. Doesn't matter how many points he got. But the thing is, it is the hardest thing to do. I mean, it literally takes you the entire game to even have a chance to kill the Shogun. You need the maximum amount of weapons. You need the maximum amount of ninjas. You need to expand every little thing on your player board before you can attack the Shogun. And everything has to be perfect too when you do it. It is the hardest thing to pull off. It should be an automatic win. It's not in the new game, but Yato is still a phenomenal game. I don't see it dropping from my top 20.
I'm surprised it wasn't a top 10, to be honest.
I am, because I did think I was going to be playing. I played a ton last year. It was the #1 new game to my collection. And I still play it a lot this year, but not as much, which is probably why it slid. All right.
It's on my list. I want to play this one for sure.
Yeah, I know you want to play it because it is good. You'd love the theme. Number 18 for you.
Number 18, bringing the simplicity back. It is a family weight game, Las Vegas Royale, specifically. Not that.
Oh yeah. I talked about this game.
Not that basic one, but the Royale.
Well, no, this is the new version of Las Vegas, right?
Mm-hmm. It's got the expansion built into it and some other new stuff, and that 3D tray.
Oh no, it's a much better version than the older one, in my opinion. I think it is, at least.
Yeah.
So go ahead, talk about it. It's a great game.
Yeah, it's a dice placement game. You are essentially gambling to collect the most money, in just the standard form of the game. There is going to be money that randomly shows up on each side, so you want to put your dice on those slots that have the most money. However, if you don't have the most of, let's say, the number 5, the person who gets the most of it gets the larger bill. The second in line gets the little bill. If you end up being lucky enough to be the only one there, you get everything. There's so many funny elements of the game because if there's ties, no one gets anything. Or the person who's under them gets everything. So, you could have one die, but both of those, your opponents have 2 die there. You just get the pot, which is crazy. It's such a satisfying game. It's very luck driven, but there's still some strategy as to where you decide to place your dice and how many you're willing to give up early, because you could roll let's say 3 6s, but do you really want to put down all 3 6s off the jump? Because you may be able to get it for less die. So you might want to pick one that has a fewer value on it, just maybe second in line as to what you're looking to get, just to kind of really feel the board and kind of be the last one standing, because you really want to be the last one to pick, because that's the one who gets to dictate the most. But you can't choose to opt out unless you give up a chip. There's a lot going for it. There's also those added tiles, which add a lot of the extra added elements. I have not played with all of them, so I can't really speak on behalf of every one of them, but I have enjoyed the ones I have implemented. And this game is awesome. It's a family weight game, easy to teach, and I've yet to meet anyone that hasn't enjoyed this game, because it's a lot like gambling.
No, yeah, I mean, who doesn't? Who doesn't love it? Yeah, it's one of the games that used to be in my top 20. Used to be the best filler game to play. We don't play it as much as we used to. It is still popular whenever it comes out, My nephews bought Las Vegas Royale and love that version.
Mm-hmm.
It is a really nice version. I'm glad they reprinted it. But yeah, it didn't make my top 100 this year, but it
Wow.
at one time it was is in my top 20. It's always a game I'll always play though. All right. My number 17, my buddy Josh has been watching these, waiting to see when his big pick is coming up on the board because I always give him credit every year for this. 4 years ago, when I went to Board Game Geek, I think he went. I said, "Well, I'm getting a list here together, but I don't know what I'm going to play." He went, "Dude, if you play one game, play this one." And I did. It started off at 45, then 25, went up to 16 last year, stays in my top 20 this year, just one spot down. Rajas of the Ganges.
Oh. Thought it was something else.
No. It's Rajas of the Ganges. He also showed me Merlin earlier too. He's the one that told me about Merlin, so I did give him credit for that one too. Raj of the Ganges. I want to vomit when I look at that board because it looks so busy. But it's actually, and with all these dice too. I mean, look at that. I feel sick just looking at it. But this is a very simple game. You're rolling dice, taking the actions on the dice, and doing different things to grab fame. Go up the fame track on one way and victory points on the other, or money, I say on the other way. You have your own player board too, where you're trying to get extra. Trying to look at all these things. There's the tiles you put on your own player board. It was not showing me the player board, but you have your own player board. You're trying to match these tiles to also get bonuses as well. You're moving up your ship to get bonuses. Everything's it's like point salad, but you're trying to move around both tracks, the fame this way and the money this way. It doesn't matter which one you try for. You can try for fame because that's a faster track, but money is easier to get if you play your cards right, and you can really kill it with money. The game ends when these two tracks cross each other. It's not a certain amount of points, it's just when they cross each other. When they cross each other, the game ends. Whoever is furthest apart from their two pieces wins the game. I love that about this game. It does have some goodie boxes that have some mini expansions attached to it. They're fine. Take them or leave them. I played them all. I didn't see anything that I was like, oh, I have to have this in my game. It was nice stuff, but nothing I had to have. The little lady, you can flip her over as she can hold many dice as she has arms, which I think is really neat. Where's a picture of the player board? Try and get a picture of that. I mean, it's a very colorful game. When I looked at the board, I texted my buddy. I said, I want to vomit. I said, this game looks so busy, and I'm not going to understand. He's like, no, trust me, you'll get it. And I can't. No one takes pictures of their own player board, but oh, here's one. There's kind of his player board, but your player board is also ways you can score points and score money and stuff like that. It is so much fun. Even though the artwork looks really busy and the game looks really hard, it is a very simple game to play. And you don't need the goodie boxes. They're way over. Well, now they're like $10 each instead of $20 each. But even at $10, I mean, that's a decent deal, I guess, if you want Raj of the Ganges extra stuff. But you don't have to have them to love this game, even though I did get them all because I do love this game. Raj of the Ganges, number 17. Pray, oh pray. What beest thou 17, sir?
A crossover. The greatest Queen games ever. Escape Curse of the Temple. I like this one better than the zombie one. I don't really classify them both in the same because I'll be honest with you, I barely played the zombie one.
Okay.
This is the one that I go to the most. It is awesome. And much like Matt, I did go back and get the newer big box because I had the original one, but the new one had all this other new stuff, which I was too afraid that if I got the new expansion, that the back of the tiles will be lighter because they go through a different print run. I'm glad I did that because I was correct. But it's awesome. There's an abundance of expansions. There's a bunch of different ways you can play it. You're playing against the soundtrack, which is phenomenal. Then you hear the gong that says you got to go back to the center point or else you lose the dice. There's curses that can just screw you over, screw your opponents over. You're also working together to get these gems off because you need the number of gems plus 1 is the number of keys you have to roll to escape. So you got to drop off as many gems as possible, which is a little bit different than you would imagine, right? Because you think as an Indiana Jones guy, you're trying to steal the jewels to get out, but instead you're trying to kind of put them back so you survive.
Right.
It's
And
interesting.
I should mention the insert to the big box is
Insane.
beautiful. It's beautiful.
Just don't put it on its side and don't flip it upside down.
No.
I see you put a lot of your queen games on the side, Matt. You might be disappointed if you put your
No,
escape
no, no. They'll be
sideways.
fine. They'll be fine. But no, yeah. I'll agree with you. This is the first big box edition, but yeah, the latest one is incredible. My wife sat down and played all of these expansions with me. She was in it to win it, as they say.
Well worth it.
We sat down, played one after the other. We couldn't beat it. I was ready to say, well, let's just quit and go to the next one. She went, no, I'm going to beat this one.
Kept telling Matt he needed to buy it. Told him the Kickstarter was out, and you're like, fine, I'll just add it to this.
I did. Don't regret it either. Great pick. That's 4 crossover. Will we get to your 10? I think we're going to get close, but I don't know anymore now. I don't know.
I'm scared.
Because number 16 is the ultimate bag builder. Been on my list for 4 years. It was number 9, number 10 for the first 2 years. Went down to number 15, drops down one more spot. That's because there's a game above it, new game above it. But Orleans. Orleans. Have you played this one?
I haven't. It's a popular one, though.
Classic bag builder. It's where it's at. You don't have to play with any expansions. I do play with one of them, which changes the little community board up, which is a lot of fun. The artwork, yeah, is something to be left desired, but the game is there. Now, these are all the cardboard tokens. I have the nice blinged out version. From BGG. I got those, so I've got some nice stuff going on here. I basically upgrade this game. Yeah, my coins are metal. They're not cardboard. Get out of here. My tokens, they're actually wooden resources because we love playing Orleans. You're digging tokens out of a bag and then putting them on your board to activate certain things, either traveling, getting extra tokens to put in your bag, or just moving them to get victory points. This is what started bag building, and bag building has always been great. Someone told me, oh yeah, but after playing this a while, Matt, you'll get tired of it. Well, you know what? It's been in my collection for 4 years now, and we're still not tired of this game. It is so much fun. I would not get Orleans Stories. I did not like it. I gave it to a buddy of mine because he may like that one. But Orleans Stories, I hate. But Orleans, the base game, is where it's at. Love this bag builder.
I hear good things about it.
It's a great one. It's a great one. I remember I got it. And I was raving about it to someone because I came late to the party on Orleans. He went, yeah, but after you play it for a while, it gets boring. I was like, really? Oh no! I decided to buy it anyway, and I still haven't been bored by it.
Upgrades all his games, but Queen games. Remember that, people.
Whatever. What's number 16? I don't have to because Queen Games is excellent. They already make great pieces. Booyah! Go ahead. What's number 16?
Another crossover. A classic. A hit. You knew we were going to have this on here.
I did.
Settlers of Catan. Let's go. I got the 3D edition. I want to see that on the screen.
I'm going to find it.
This is beautiful. This went up because of that for sure. I love Catan. I'm a base game Catan individual who hasn't played any of the others. That will change, I promise. But I have played the Game of Thrones one, which is really interesting, actually. Has a lot of really cool mechanisms. But the base game Catan's the one I'm referring to here. I got the new 3D one. Looks beautiful. It is.
Yeah, I remember you called me when you got this.
Oh, I love it. It's so great. It's so perfect. Because I was actually going to make one.
This is what all games should look like.
100%. It takes. My issue with Catan was always it was an expensive game with the ugliest pieces. Everything about it. It's just a boring looking game, I should say. Let me not say ugly, but it looks stale. It looks boring for someone who's wasn't that far into games, and finding out this game was like $50, and all of my friends were like, "Dude, you need to play it. It's a fun one." So I finally, bit the bullet, played it. I'm glad I did because it. I remember we played this game for 48 hours straight. It was crazy. There's a
Yeah.
story behind that, which will be told one day, but it's a lot of fun. I that's as much as I can say for it. You're building up your roads, you're upgrading your villages, and you're trading with individuals if they like you enough to trade with you. It's a blast. It's a blast. Such a great game.
Wow.
I need to
Yeah.
play some expansions, man.
I knew that would be on your list. But I'll be honest. Again, I thought that was going to be. I'm doing terrible on your top 10 right now because that's the fourth game I've got wrong. I think that I thought was going to be a part of your top 10.
Oh
So
wow,
when
really?
yeah, I thought Catan was going to be high up there too. I thought top 5 even.
I thought Yato
So
was gonna be your top 10. I thought that's crazy to me.
okay, yeah. So I am going to be very interested to see if any of my picks from the top 10 are going to make this. So, but all right. So number 16 is Catan for that man. Number 15, been in my collection for 5 years now. For those first 3 years, it was in my top 10. It was number 6, number 5, number 5. Then last year, it dropped to number 11. And I said, if the expansion is good, this game's coming back into my top 10. Obviously, I hated the expansion to Grand Austria Hotel, but
Really?
I did not like it.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
it's really bad. It was, I hate to say this because I know it's a lie, but it wasn't game tested enough, I
Mm.
think. It's something that we played, we tried really hard to like, and as we kept playing it, people just started ignoring the extra stuff and just started playing it the base way. Just started ignoring those extra modules because they were just impossible to do or just not worth it. Not worth wasting an action to do that because there's so many other things to do on your board.
Mm.
And I have to agree. We tried to, soften the rules, make them a little bit more powerful, make the things a little bit more worthwhile. There's one other thing I'm going to do in the game to make it a little bit better, to make you want to get some of the expansion, use some of the modules. But I'll be honest with them, there's no reason why you should use the modules for this game, for the expansion. The expansion, Let's Waltz, sadly a dud, which is probably why the game slips a little bit because we were not enjoying the expansions. Even though everyone, I'll give them credit, they gave it the old college try. They entertained me more than enough on using the expansions, but they kept complaining about each one, and I could not give any rebuttals to their complaints. Now I did get the upgraded wooden bits, which I thought was still worth it to get the new version of the game. I am glad they reprinted it though, because the base game is where it's at. It is awesome. It is well worth your time to purchase a copy of this and play it because you are basically drafting guests to come live in your hotel, feeding them the hors d'oeuvres that they want, and then booking them into one of the rooms into your hotel for victory points. Everything is victory points here. It is very simple, straightforward game about running your own hotel, and I love it. I love it. It's so smooth, such a smooth game. The base game along is what you need. Unfortunately, Let's Waltz is a dud, but I am developing house rules next time to make them make those extra modules more appeasable. But oh man, and I even showed you this because Let's Waltz even has, and I love this idea. It has the cards that you can put stickers on it. I
Oh
told you that you even
yeah.
had Bernie Sanders in his famous meme pose, and I was like, that's great that you can, and you can't use all the stickers, so they only let you choose a few of the stickers for the blank cards. There's not enough stickers for, I mean, there's not enough cards for all the stickers. And I like
Mm.
that because that means everyone's going to have a different set. Of course, you're like me. You're like, I don't want to use the stickers because I don't know. I don't know how to design good cards. I need to go online and see if anyone has good ideas for those cards. But because you can give it any bonuses, you can assign any food items to it and whatever you want it to be, and how many victory points you want to. So you can really get creative with those cards. But I'm just not that creative a person. Plus, I don't want to use the stickers up. What if I want to make more? He says. But anyway, I do love Grand Austria Hotel as a base game. Excellent stuff. All right, what is your number 15 I'm interested.
Number 15. The
5
greatest
crossovers so far. That means we have to have 5 of the next 15.
the
Go ahead.
greatest deck builder of all time.
Definitely not in my list.
DC deck building. I love this game.
I
I
had
like
no idea you
DC.
loved this game.
Oh yeah, what I'm super sad the expansions got pushed till next year. I have everything for this game. I actually built my own cube, which is like this super cube, which is plays every insane card in the game. It's so much fun. Um, Talk about thematic. You are building a deck with heroes and villains that you're picking from a lineup, much like you'd be used to in a standard deck building, like Dominion, for example. I think Cryptozoic kind of fixed the formula issues that I had with Dominion. I'm not the biggest fan of Dominion at all. I
I
think
can't stand Dominion.
this has everything I want. Of course, the DC theme, because DC is way better than Marvel. I mean, no arguments there.
I agree with that. Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, you start off with your player cards, which are the larger cards, which have abilities throughout the whole game. Some are more beneficial in the beginning, some in the middle, a lot more towards the end as well. I've kind of sifted through it and only have the best of the best. The cube is it's just so, every game is so different. You get to play all your favorite characters, both heroes and villains. You get to screw over your opponents. You get to understand what it takes to build a stronger deck to speed through the game a lot quicker. I've even built a cube so you're not like Dominion or any other version of this deck builder that you could play, which would take like 8 hours if you play with enough people. This game, I cut it down to about an hour. If you're a noob, 45 minutes if you know what you're doing. It is a lot of fun. That's really all I can say. Deck builder is really kind of hard to explain, which is why I've
No,
struggled
I
trying
mean,
to
you
do a
just,
review for it.
yeah, you just say deck builder and people come running. So, yeah, I would probably, I don't know. I just don't like deck builders. I love the theme. I love DC Comics, but I just hate deck builders, which is why this would probably never make it to my list. But my number 14 made it to my list last year. It debuted at my list at number 10. It was a top 10 game. And
Monopoly?
I didn't know if it would hold up, and it didn't. It slid about 4 spots, but still a top 20 game about trains, First Class.
Oh.
You are basically, in a way, I don't know if this is not a deck builder. You're building trains. You're building railroad tracks and trains.
Well, sure. Arnak is a deck builder.
Yeah, it could be that. Yeah. It's also worker placement too, though.
Mm.
But yeah, you're playing on a track, and there's so many different versions. It's a very small game because you're drafting cards, trying to extend your train, get different bonuses by extending your track on your mini train there. This goes 3 rounds, I believe, or 3 phases, I should say. Yeah, 3 rounds. The first round, everyone's making piddly points, like 5 or 6, maybe 10 points. The second round, you're making 20, 30 points, like yay. The third round, you're making 150 points because you've really, like I said, it just snowballs and you start really tracking along here. And again, there's any strategy will work. There's several different strategies that can get you to win this game. You kind of have to do a balance of both. And the game is different every time you play, depending on what is it 2 or 3? I think it's every 2 modules you put in the game. The game comes with a deck A, deck B, deck C, deck D, E, F, G, H. Is H? Yeah, H is the last deck, I think, or G may be the last deck. I think, can't remember. But either way, I think they were going to go through the whole alphabet at one time, but then he stopped. But each one of those, no, there's got to be a G. I think there's an odd number, so I think there's an H too. Either way, though, when you're playing any one of these module expansions, it is going to change the way you play this game. So you will always play this game differently. I love all the expansions just about. They put different things in the game it really changes the game up. You want a mystery game like a whodunit, or, Murder on the Orient Express? That's one of the modules you're playing, as well as getting points. You're also trying to expose who the killer is. I mean, we're talking about big changes here. And then we got kooky ones like, what's the other one? These connectors that connect two boxes together and give you some like little kooky bonus if you do this and this on two different cards. And then the other one is a magician, which I hate playing with because it's a game of chance. If you want to play with the magician, you pick one of two cards. If it's the good one, you get a reward. If it's the bad one, you're going to get, everyone gets penalized. And it's really bad to take a risk. No one really likes taking a risk with the magician. But if you do, it could be well worth your time. But like I said, the game really plays smoothly. There it is. There's a good picture of the game board there. As your build, I don't think that would ever happen. If you ever got to where you could build both trains at the same time, you are a better player than me. I've never been able to do that. Although I will be, I think there's been one player who's been able to do that. That's really hard to do. But you're upgrading boxcars, get more points. Oh my goodness. I love First Class. It just didn't get played as much as it debuted, which is probably why it's not my top 10. All right. That's my number 14. Let's hear it. Give it to me.
Number 14 is going to be one of the biggest cult classics in horror cinema. It is going to be an IP game released by my homies over at, I'm not even going to say it, Alien Fate of the Nostromo. This game is awesome. If you like the first film, this game fits it thematically with perfection. The part of the movie that's important. So there's a lot of games that try to, base off of the theme, like the more popular Nemesis, which I do own. I haven't gotten it to the table, so I can't compare it entirely, but I know the rules. So the thing that game focuses on is the hidden traitor element. But in the first movie, if you've watched it, doesn't focus on a hidden traitor. You don't know the individual even is possessed by the alien. Maybe I spoiled it for you. You should probably go see the film if you haven't seen it. But the game's awesome. The tension is insane. The mechanism that produces the alien is simple. Is comparable to another game that's on this list, which I'll talk about a little bit more when I get to that point. But the tension's high. The way that you have to get to the end point of the game can also be different each time. The way that you use the different pieces of rubble. Oh, those are my miniatures. Nice.
Oh, wait, this is yours?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, see my island?
Yeah. Oh, it is. Look at that. All right, let me go through your pictures here.
They look good.
Look at you.
So yeah.
Oh. Dude, that's a good paint job.
Yo, I'm super proud of these.
I need to
fix what's his name's eye. You won't really see it in the photo. But I noticed it, his eye. You can't really tell.
Oh, you missed a pupil?
Yeah, it's like the white fill of the eye is just a little bit too extended. So I'm going to go in and fix it before I seal it. But yeah, the tension, again, is the big part for me. I didn't think how well it would capture without doing the hidden traitor. And they pick off the movie so well. The alien's there. You're trying to collect rubble to build technology to basically escape, whether it's weapons against the alien to kind of protect you for another round. You even get the cat. That's a miniature that didn't come in the game. They found that. It's awesome. I do need to get my hands on
found that?
Yeah, I need to also get a few people found an Ash miniature. They don't have Ash because they can't get his likeness. Apparently, he's not agreeing to allow people to use his likeness from the film. I think there's a lot. People that know the film better than I do know the drama behind it. But there's something that he basically they don't want. His family doesn't want his likeness.
Oh, he's dead?
I believe so.
They put it with Back to the Future.
Yeah, they're going Back to the Future, all right. That's hilarious.
That's great. I thought, I'm going to say it again, you have busted 5 of my top 10 for you.
It's a good one.
I seriously thought this was maybe even a number one. No. I know what number one is, but I thought this was a top three. I did think so because you do nothing but uh, make out with this game whenever I talk to you. It's filthy,
It's great.
disgusting. You
It
love
was a
it.
Target exclusive, guys. If you see it at your Target, you see this game. It's cheap. It's fast paced. It's everything you could want in a game that fits that theme. So if that theme's interested to you, you should look at it. If you don't like horror and that's not the kind of game for you, I understand. But it's dope.
Right. There you go. Hey, it's time for my 13. My 13 has been in my collection ever since I started this list. No, it hasn't actually. 5 years ago, so it hadn't been in here the full 6 years. But it has always been around my top 20. It was number 20 when it debuted. It went to 21, 16, then 19. Folks, it is up to number 13. This is the highest it's ever been ranked. There is no such thing as a Splendor killer. Splendor is still glorious. And all of the here, let me show you this game in all of its splendor. Oh, great game. I don't think I have to explain this one. Grabbing gems, paying those gems to get cards. It is a deck builder in a way as you're trying to get more and more powerful. You're getting more of these gem mines that allow you to get bigger cards, better cards that count for points. Woo some nobles over into your area. I think the base game says you go to 15. We played a 20 because the game does not get old. I'll be honest, the expansion, Cities of Splendor, I've not played in 2 years now. I should give it a shot again. I don't think it was bad. I just don't think it's necessary because we love the game as is. Now, they came out with what is it, Marvel Splendor with like the Infinity Stones. That was cute. But it basically just rethemed, played the same. I love the base version of it. I don't know if this will ever be a top 10, but it came close this year, being at number 13. We have played this so many times this year, and it always comes out. My gaming group always suggests it. They love Splendor. In fact, when my buddy got married, he brought his wife over. I said, "Okay, your pick, man." He went, "Splendor." That's what he wanted to play. Was Splendor. Show his wife Splendor because he just loves it.
I'm missing something. I hate this game. I genuinely dislike.
Oh.
There's not many games that I would like opposed to playing. I don't think I would sit down and play Splendor again. I genuinely don't. I was so disappointed with the game. I thought I was really going to enjoy.
Wow!
Maybe the Marvel theme could probably pick it up for me, and I'm not even the biggest Marvel fan, but it's just the theme was boring. I didn't really care for. It was like it wanted to be a deck builder, but like it also wanted to be a set collection game, which like really threw me off. How you're constantly producing the gems and stuff like that. Like it felt like I was playing Space Base again, which I also am not a fan.
Yeah.
But everyone likes it. Everyone likes it.
Yeah,
so.
everyone loves it. What is number 13? What is number 13 for you?
13 is a game you should own, especially knowing that you like Escape Curse of the Temple, Volcano Island Countdown. This game is great. It's probably, is it the highest real-time game that I have on here? I think it is. Yeah.
I don't know
Best real-time game I have.
I had no idea you liked this game so much.
So you have these pawns, which kind of weak. I do want to kind of upgrade those.
This is the poor man's Fireball Island. I'm kidding.
Oh, it's excellent. So you are rolling die, a singular die, and you're all working together to try to get the items to unlock the different tombs, to find the different shrines, to bring it back to the temple, to slow down the timer, because there is a timer. The game can't last longer than, I believe it's 30 minutes. And when you push it in, it kind of buys you a little bit of time, or so you think, or it slows down the music. But the goal is that you want to get all the shrines around the volcano to prevent it from erupting. If you don't in time, it erupts. there's a lot of different things that can run in your way, such as that tiki guy. Because once you start rolling those tikis, he starts going around the board, and you can't go past him. He only goes in one direction. So if he starts gaining up on you and he passes you, then he blocks you into that cave, and he blocks you there until someone else rolls the tiki. It is such an intense game. Legendary is not an option. You will never, there isn't a human being in the world that will be that lucky. Like if I put all the cards in your hand, you still wouldn't win under legendary mode. It's that insane. But playing on normal is just already insane. It's such a fun game. It's the only game I can rely on fast setup, fast gameplay. Again, the timer is already built in.
Yeah.
That's it. The Indiana Jones theme, man. I love the adventure theme, and this captures it. One of the best that captures it.
Wow. I did not think this would be in your top 100 for some reason. But it looks like just the poor man. I know it's not. It looks like the poor man's volcano, Fireball Island. But hey, don't knock it till you try it, and I would definitely try it. I would
More
definitely
peeps
try
need
it.
it.
All right, number 12. Let's do. It's been a while. Have we done a Queen Games yet? No, we haven't. What am I thinking? Oh, that's because it's number 12. It's up there. Number 12 has been in my collection for 4 years. It would start off at number. It's always been in my top 20. It's been 19, 13. Last year, number 9. It was part of the top 10. This year it moves down just 3 spots. That's okay.
Oh,
Amerigo. It is Stefan Feld's greatest game that he ever bestowed upon us. I've played this game several times. It looks like it's the big box edition, but there's only one box and it is huge. That's because this is the one where there is a cube tower, which is super fun to play in. Playing this game is regular Stefan Feld point salad. You're throwing cubes down the tower, taking the action of any of those colors, and whichever cube has the most amount, you're taking that power of action. So like if five blues fall out, but also 1 red, 2 greens, and a yellow fall out, well then you can use red, green, yellow, and blue 5 times because that's the biggest amount of the cubes of the same color. Cubes get stuck into the tower too. Not all of them fall out. There's a web in there. So some of them will get stuck in the tower. You need to be careful not to bump the table in this game because it will let loose a few cubes. But you're trying to discover islands, build on those islands for points, you're buying and selling stuff, getting good trade on the island, building up your cannons to avoid pirate fights. Lots of ways to score at the end of this game. The board itself, those are tiles that interconnect, and you can always play differently because there's different tiles. There's a big stack of tiles, double-sided. You flip it around, you just lay a few out depending on how many players, and you just go for it. And even I've introduced this game. This game doesn't look like much fun when you look at this thing, but I've introduced this to someone who's never played a board game before, never played these type of board games before. Not only did she get into it, but after the end of the game, their dad called me and said, "Hey, so my girls played a game." I said, "Amerigo." And I can't find that anywhere in Target or where is it? I said, "You got to go online." I guess, okay, he said, because that's all they've been talking about was that game you played with them at your nephew's house. I brought this to my nephew's house and they were there. They said, "Can we play?" I was like, "Sure." And they picked up immediately and started really scoring some points there. One girl was even leading. She had to go home early, but she was winning the game. So this is just phenomenal. Like I said, one of the best games out there by Queen Games, and definitely Stefan Feld's highest rated game in me humble opinion. I've talked about Feld a lot on this list in the past in my collection. This is the creme a la creme for him. All right, what is number 12 for you, sir?
Number 12 is going to be another horror game. A game I expected to not like, but I was very impressed by it. That is Camp Grizzly. This one, not quite a top 10 worthy game, but god dang, it is.
I am bumfuddled. I thought this was going to be this. I thought this could have been a number 1 or number 2. Oh my gosh, that's 6 out of your
You
top
must
10
have
I did
missed
not
the
get.
other review that I did put up for Halloween. But this one is a blast for what it is. Is it worth the high price point? No. Whoever bought it for $1,500 on eBay, you're ridiculous. Yeah, I'm talking to you. It's ridiculous, unacceptable. Honestly, I hate when I see that kind of stuff because it's ridiculous. But I guess if some people have it, they have it.
Well, they won't the have and the have-nots.
I guess so. Game doesn't offer enough to be worth that. It's great artwork. It has really well put together design. It isn't the most thematic slasher. And I'll talk a little bit more when we get to the one that is. But this game is a whole ton of fun. It is thematic for what it is. You are moving through the board to collect items to escape, depending on one of the different finales. So you start off by knowing where the keys are, so you know get that. That's always one of the items to escape, whether you're getting a car battery, some gas, whatever it may be. Once you make it through, you are going to your finale card, which is a thematic kind of ending as you would expect from a slasher. But the cool thing about it is at the end of each turn, you're drawing a cabin card. The cabin cards can help you, but most of the time they can hurt you. And Otis can appear at any point in time. So if you draw Otis' attack card, he appears out of nowhere and just wrecks you. So if you don't have weapons, you take damage. If you do have weapons, you pray to God you roll well. Because he's only getting stronger with the body counts increasing. The thing I do like about this, which is one of the big caveats for me in this game, is your player board. So your characters' thematic nature as they start to get wounded more. So you start off, you got a long movement, let's say it's 4, or let's say it's 5. 5 movement, right? And then you get injured, your movement goes down. Then you get injured again, it goes down again. But once you start to get close to death, your movement actually increases because now you're running for your life. I love that aspect of how the character's movement changes from that like perspective. Obviously, when you're wounded and you trip and you're already cut up, you're trying to run and scream like it's your last breath. So it all makes sense. But the game is great. As for a slasher game, it's excellent. The tropes are well put in. And again, the artwork is definitely going to be the selling point here. I've upgraded my stuff too.
Shoot, dang it. So that's 6 out. I'm going to be really impressed with your top 10 because I did not. I thought it was going to be really slick and say I knew it, but now I only know 4. I think I know 4 because we haven't gotten to number 11 yet. Okay, so thanks for surprising me. Hey, let's do Queen Games one final time. This game's been in my collection for 4 years now. It started off at number 8. And it hasn't been able to get in the top 10 since. It was number 17 for the past 2 years back to back. It got to number 11. And I sit here between number 10 and number 11 looking like this. Just going back and forth. I went, And so I did not choose this game. It falls right outside the top 10. You know what it was. Fresco.
I was going to be so sick if it was in your top 10. I was like, no way a Queen Game's making it there.
Oh, whatever.
Unacceptable.
It should have made it, but it just didn't. I got the big box.
Good enough. Is this what it is?
I got the big. Oh man, this game is fantastic. Shut your mouth. It's great. Fresco. We did play it with all. I mean,
is this the painting the walls one? I'm sorry.
Yeah, this painting the walls one. We did play it with every expansion in the box. We emptied it all out. We played with it all. This is the new edition. No, does mine have an insert? Oh, I took out my insert. I threw it away so I could fit all the new expansions in there. That's what it is. And we played with all, because I asked my friends if they wanted to play it just, in sets of, 6 or whatever. He went, well, can't we just play with them all? I went, do you want to? He went, yeah. It was a long game, but it was epic. And the thing is, you probably don't need to play with all of them because we went around the board twice. There's lots of points you can score in this game when you're doing that. but it was a wonderful night. I will take nothing away from that. Probably why it's number 11. It moved up, 6 spots on the list because of that last minute push of us playing all the expansions, which was part of the plan originally with my old buddy, one of my oldest gaming groupers who left. This is one of the games he wanted to play. We just didn't get around to it, but he wanted to play with all the expansions again, like we did years ago, and we just didn't get a chance to. And then my new gaming group came in, and I said, well, we're going because they saw the game up because I had all the instructions. Said, what's this for? I went, oh, well, my buddy Nick left early. I couldn't get to play this one with him. I said, we'll play it with you. I was okay. I said, well, I was going to play all the expansions, but we'll just play like the base game, or maybe like a few expansions if you guys want. And they said, well, let's just play with them all. I was like, really? They had a great time. They had a great time. Fresco's awesome. It's worker placement, of course. A little bit of auction too, but you're trying to just base game. You're trying to get the right paints to paint the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, but with the expansion, you're trying to do it all, baby. There's not anything you're not doing. What a mega game! The Liguria is its prequel, and I've never. I don't think I've. No, I think I did it that night. I think we played Liguria first, and then we played the Fresco. So it's always fun. Tell the story of Fresco. All right, what's number 11?
Number 11 is another game Matt thought was going to be at my top 10. It is going to be one of the most iconic video games there is. Street Fighter, the miniatures game. This game is awesome, as I keep saying. This one, so it is a skirmish game. I've been playing it a lot 2-player. You can play it more players, which it's just as fun with more players, especially if you do a boss match where one player is the boss and everyone's trying to face them because the boss is dumb powerful. You have your own deck. I believe it's a deck of 40, and your character fits its own kind of theme of that character, just like the video game. Their special abilities are almost mirrored. The way that they interact on the board is crazy. The miniatures are the greatest miniatures ever made for a board game that are pre-painted. Honestly, just unpainted, just probably still the best. They're large, kind of like bust size. They're essentially collectibles. So people who are just collectibles of things Street Fighter, 100% will appreciate this even more. But you are moving across the map, and you are managing your resources to fight. So you got projectiles, you got throws, you got special abilities. You can throw them into objects to deal them damage. It is such a blast. The characters, I can't explain enough how thematic they are because they fit so well with their decks, and they're all super unique. For me, the selling point was the miniatures. I didn't know what to expect from it, and I was just blown away. The only thing I don't own for the game is the extra map pack, which I will at some point own. But outside of that, I own everything from the Kickstarter. Yeah, that's really all there is to say about it. It's just a skirmish game. If you love the IP, definitely check it out. If you like Mortal Kombat more, that'll be on Kickstarter soon. I can't wait for that one. Hopefully, early next year is what I'm hoping for, because I like Mortal Kombat. I know it a little bit better than I do Street Fighter.
You are right. This is one I thought would be like number 10. So there's 3 I know for sure in your top 10, and I'm going to kick myself for the other ones I probably did not guess. So there you have it, folks. Hey, come back. We got one more.